but you touched upon color, and I'm a failing student at color theory. Certain colors are supposed to elicit certain emotions. Do you want to just talk a little bit about that? Because I think that is also a fascinating example of the human condition.
Yeah, I mean, see, a lot of bright colors are associated with, bringing out a lot of excitement for you. The specific colors like orange, red, something that elicit a certain amount of emotions when people look at it. Then there are colors that are associated with getting a little more somber, reaction out of consumers. There's a lot of research on color theory in terms of what colors you should be using to be uh, eliciting what kind of response. And it's sad that a lot of people don't use that research in um, building their design language specifically, because that design language is what, see, your ad, right? Let's talk about this, and I'm glad you brought this up. It's pretty interesting piece. um, your ad that you see on TV, right, is an ad that you'll see for 10 seconds or 12 seconds or 30 seconds, right? And then let's say make up your mind to buy that product. Let's take this marker, for example, which is in my hand, right? You decide, it says, this is a
You hold
marker.
it up to the camera once, just so we can see
Yeah,
it.
so this is a marker, and I'm not going to turn it around. I'll tell you why I won't turn it around. But so this is the marker that's being sold on TV. There's an ad for it, and you decide, okay, I'm going to buy this marker. It's a uni marker, and you're like, okay, hey, listen, I'm going to buy this. I need a marker, and you buy this marker. And if this marker just, but when this marker comes with with the brand written this way, right? You suddenly feel like, oh, suddenly this is not a marker anymore, right? It's something cool. It's something that can stay around. It can stay on your study table. It can sit here, um, and it can be cool. It doesn't need to go into the pen stand or back in. And that is what we don't land up spending a lot of time on, right? As designers, and design the core part of marketing function. I said there's so much research on colors, on why you should be creating an experience for your product once it reaches your consumer's hand. It's not just about the usage of the product. It's also about how it makes them feel when they first see it.
Exactly.
When they freaking see that box, that colorful box, or whatever color. And I'm not saying it doesn't have to always be red, yellow, green, and make it the brightest, that you need to wear sunglasses to open that product. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying use the color there to get the right kind of response, get the right kind of excitement going, get the kind of buzz going. When they look at it, they feel warm about it. They feel that, wow, yeah, want to open this. It's not sitting in the corner for the next 5 days and waiting to be opened. It should be like, hey, listen, wow, I know what's inside this. I know what I ordered, but I want to open it right now.
Yeah.
And I think those are extremely important pieces, and that's an extremely important part of marketing, because everyone thinks marketing ends for you once the person has bought the product. I think marketing and branding starts for you once they've bought the product. I think that it's very different, right? It's not when they've bought it. It's when they've bought it, it's entered their house, is then when your job starts. Because then they become your brand ambassadors. That's when they start speaking about you. That's when they start talking about how cool this brand is. And that's when 10 more people who are associated with that person will be able to associate with you and the brand. And there's nothing better than word of mouth to build a brand in a country like India. And that only will happen. That will only happen once the product reaches someone's house or hand or use or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be a physical product. Like, the experience is what builds your brand. So for any marketer that is listening, it's not just about selling the product. It's about, after that, the most important part of marketing starts. Um, it's always, for marketing is like, okay, I've given these many conversions, done, sales ka target meet ho gaya, chalo, let's go. I mean, your first question also was, right, like, should we be spending enough money? How do we build this brand? You build your brand. That's why I said you don't need to need huge amount of money to build a brand, because you're building brand after you've reached that person's house, building a brand after you've reached a consumer's mind. You're building a brand after they've interacted with you, because brand is built when Zaran then talks about. So, is Zaran enjoying this conversation that he's having with Vineet as a brand? That's not going to happen right now. It'll happen at the end of this conversation. Anyone who's listening end of the conversation, they'll be able to like, hey, listen, I kind of got some insight out of it. Hey, Amit, do you want to tune into this podcast? That's when brand building starts. Brand building is not about everything that happens before.